Back in the 1950s to 1970s, toys were all about adventure, but safety rules weren't what they are today. Many popular toys from that time, like metallic Slinky and even clackers, were exciting for kids, but turned out to be pretty dangerous. Over the years, as injuries and accidents happened, parents and safety experts pushed for these toys to be banned or redesigned, curious about the risky toys that kids loved back then. Stick around as we look at some of the most dangerous toys from this era. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and let us know your thoughts in the comments. Let's start with lead-based paint toys. In the 1950s, many toys, such as dolls, action figures, and toy cars, were painted using lead-based paints. At the time, the dangers of lead exposure were not well understood, and the bright colors were very appealing to kids. However, lead is highly toxic, and over time, it was discovered that children who played with these toys could unknowingly ingest the harmful substance by putting the toys in their mouths. This could lead to lead poisoning, causing serious health issues like developmental delays, learning disabilities, and other physical problems. Eventually, as the harmful effects of lead became known, the use of lead-based paint in toys was banned. The ban helped protect children from exposure to toxic materials, ensuring that toys were safer and more regulated in the years that followed. Atomic Energy Laboratory. The Atomic Energy Lab was a toy chemistry set that allowed kids to experiment with real uranium ore and radioactive material. Marketed as an educational tool, it promised to teach children about nuclear science, a fascination that arose in the post-World War II era. However, this toy posed serious safety concerns because uranium is a radioactive substance that can lead to radiation poisoning if not handled properly. The kit also included other materials that, when mixed, could be dangerous. Because of these risks, the Atomic Energy Lab was eventually pulled from the market, and toys involving radioactive materials became strictly regulated. It was a reminder of how toys that seemed fun and educational could sometimes pose significant health hazards, leading to increased safety standards for children's products in later years. Metallic Slinky. The Slinky, a simple toy made from a metal coil, was introduced in the 50s and became an instant hit. Kids loved to watch it walk downstairs, and it quickly became a favorite household item. However, while it seemed harmless, the metallic Slinky could be dangerous. Its sharp metal edges could cause cuts, and it often tangled around kids' limbs, leading to potential injuries. Because of its metallic construction, it was also heavier than later plastic versions, making it harder to control. As a result, parents and caregivers became concerned about the potential for accidents, and some metal Slinkies were eventually pulled from the shelves. Today's Slinkies are made of softer materials, reducing the risk of injury, but the original version's metal design taught manufacturers the importance of ensuring that toys are not just fun, but also safe to play with. X-ray glasses. X-ray glasses were a popular novelty toy sold that promised kids the ability to see through walls or clothing. Marketed as a fun and magical gadget, these glasses were a huge hit at the time. However, they weren't the futuristic tech they seemed to be. The glasses were often made with poor quality plastic lenses that could cause eye strain, discomfort, and even damage when worn for too long. The glasses were also completely ineffective at providing any real X-ray vision. As safety concerns grew, it became clear that toys like these could cause harm, especially to kids who wore them for extended periods. Eventually, these glasses were banned due to the risk of eye damage. This served as a reminder that not all toys are as harmless as they may appear, and safety concerns should always be a priority in toy manufacturing. Hula hoops, early models. The hula hoop became a massive craze in the late 1950s. entertaining kids as they spun it around their waists, arms, and legs. Despite its popularity, some early versions posed safety risks, earning them a place among controversial toys. Certain models featured sharp metal edges that could cause cuts or bruises if not handled carefully. Additionally, the hard plastic used in some hoops was prone to cracking or breaking, creating sharp fragments that could lead to injuries. These hazards raised concerns among parents and authorities, leading to some calls for bans or stricter regulations. While later designs improved safety standards, the early issues serve as a reminder that even seemingly harmless toys can carry hidden dangers, especially when safety standards are overlooked in the rush to meet high demand. Lead soldiers. Lead soldiers were a popular toy, typically made of small lead figurines that children could collect and play with. These soldiers were painted with vibrant colors and were often used in imaginative battle games. However, the use of lead in these toys posed serious health risks, especially since children were prone to putting things in their mouths. Lead is a toxic substance that can cause lead poisoning if ingested or absorbed into the body. Over time, it became clear that lead-based toys were a danger to children's health. The use of lead in toys was eventually banned to protect children from these risks. Today, toy safety standards have become much stricter, and the materials used in toys are carefully regulated to ensure they are non-toxic and safe for kids to play with. Johnny Jump Up. The Johnny Jump Up was a popular baby toy in the 50s that allowed infants to jump by being secured in a seat attached to a doorway. The toy was designed to help babies exercise their legs while they bounced in place. However, the Johnny Jump Up posed significant safety risks. Many babies ended up falling out of the device when the seat became unfastened or if they jumped too high. Other accidents involved babies being injured when the device swung out of control, causing falls or bumps. Some versions also didn't have the proper support, leading to potential spinal issues. After these safety concerns were raised, the Johnny Jump Up was eventually banned in many places. The toy's discontinuation reflected a growing understanding of infant safety, and it spurred the development of safer baby toys and equipment with better design and more secure features. Clackers. Clackers were a toy made up of two plastic balls attached to each end of a string, with a small loop in the middle to hold. Kids would swing the balls up and down so they collided at the top and bottom, creating a loud clacking sound. While fun and popular, these toys were dangerous as they required a lot of force to work, and the balls could unexpectedly shatter. This created flying debris that injured eyes, faces, or hands. Some children also hurt their wrists and fingers as the clackers would snap together with considerable force. Injuries and broken bones were common as kids tried to keep up the rhythm, unaware of how easily the plastic balls could break. Eventually, clackers were pulled from the market because of how often kids ended up with cuts, bruises, or worse from playing with them. Easy Bake Oven early models. The original Easy Bake Oven was a popular toy that allowed kids to bake miniature treats using a real light bulb as a heat source. Although it was exciting for children to bake their cakes, the oven posed several safety risks. The internal temperature could get hot enough to cause burns, and since it was designed for children, the toy lacked adequate heat protection. Kids would often touch the hot metal inside or even accidentally burn their fingers while removing baked items. There were also occasional fire hazards if the light bulb overheated. Parents began to notice the dangers as children suffered from burns and minor fires, leading to redesigns. While the Easy Bake Oven was eventually updated for safety, the early models are remembered for sparking interest in baking, but also causing many painful accidents in the process. Toy guns with caps. In the 60s, toy guns with caps were a popular choice for kids who loved playing cops and robbers or cowboys and Indians. These guns used small, flammable paper caps that would make a loud pop, simulating a real gunshot sound when fired. However, these caps were not without risks. The explosive reaction could cause burns if handled incorrectly. Sometimes the caps would ignite too close to a child's skin, resulting in painful burns on their hands or face. If misused or packed together, the caps could even spark small fires. The excitement of the loud popping sound often distracted children from the potential danger, and many accidents occurred as a result. Due to frequent reports of burns and minor injuries, manufacturers removed them from stores entirely. Creepy Crawler's Oven. The Creepy Crawler's Oven was a toy that allowed kids to make rubbery, insect-shaped figures by heating liquid plastic in metal molds. Children could pour a gooey plastic substance known as plastigoop into molds, then place them in the toy oven, which heated to high temperatures. However, the toy posed a significant burn risk, as the oven could become dangerously hot, sometimes over 300 degrees Fahrenheit. Children, eager to check on their creations, would often touch the hot surfaces, leading to severe burns. Additionally, the heated plastigoop sometimes releases fumes, which could be harmful when inhaled. Parents raised safety concerns as burns and minor injuries from hot molds became common. Later versions of the Creepy Crawler's Oven were redesigned for safety, but the original models remain infamous for causing many accidents due to high temperatures and lack of protective features. Rubber arrow guns. Rubber arrow guns were toy guns designed to shoot arrows with rubber tips, mimicking real archery, but in a supposedly safer way. Kids enjoyed them because they could shoot at targets, pretending to be archers or hunters. However, the rubber tips didn't always stay in place, and the arrows could cause serious harm if they hit sensitive areas like the eyes or face. Kids often aimed these guns at each other during play, unaware of the potential for injury. The force of the arrows was sometimes enough to bruise or cut skin. As injuries increased, with reports of eye damage and other accidents, parents and consumer safety groups pushed for these toys to be banned. Over time, these toys were removed from shelves and replaced with softer, safer alternatives that did not pose such a high risk of injury. Lead-based action figures. In the 60s, action figures became wildly popular, with kids collecting characters from their favorite comic books, shows, and stories. However, many of these figures were made with lead-based materials, especially in the paint and body, which were harmful if ingested. Young children would often put toys in their mouths, increasing the risk of lead poisoning. Lead exposure can cause severe health issues, including developmental delays and learning problems in children. At the time, parents were not fully aware of the dangers of lead, so these toys remained on the market until research exposed the health risks. Eventually, stricter regulations were put in place, and lead-based materials were banned in toys. This change marked an important shift in toy manufacturing standards, with a focus on using safer, non-toxic materials to protect children's health. Rockem Sockem robots, early versions. Rockem Sockem Robots was a popular two-player game where kids controlled plastic boxes that punched each other until one's head popped up, signifying a knockout. However, early versions of the game had sharper edges and poorly secured pieces, which could cause injuries. During intense play, the plastic robots would often break apart, sending sharp fragments flying. Kids could get cuts or scrapes if they accidentally hit parts of the toy while operating the controls, especially as the handles require a lot of force to operate. While the game was exciting, the aggressive punching motion and sudden breakages made it risky for young children. So it had a reputation for causing minor injuries due to its rough construction and forceful gameplay style. Lawn darts. Lawn darts were a popular outdoor game in the 70s, often enjoyed by kids and adults alike. The game involved throwing heavy darts, which had long, sharp metal tips, toward a target on the ground. Although it seemed harmless, these darts caused numerous injuries when thrown improperly. Due to the metal points, if the dart missed the target, it could accidentally hit someone nearby, leading to serious injuries to the head or body. Even when used with care, lawn darts were unpredictable because the metal tip could stick to the ground with surprising force, making them particularly dangerous. As accidents increased, concerns grew among parents and safety groups, which eventually led to the game being banned in many places. Safer, modified versions of lawn darts with plastic tips replaced the originals, but the danger of the original metal-tipped lawn darts remains a well-known example of risky toys. Spirograph, early sets. The Spirograph was a creative drawing toy that allowed kids to make intricate circular designs using special gears and pens. While it inspired creativity, early sets of the Spirograph came with small, sharp parts that posed safety risks for young children. The gear pieces were often made of hard plastic with pointed edges, which could lead to cuts or scrapes if mishandled. Additionally, the small size of the gear pieces presented a choking hazard, especially for younger siblings who might play with the toy unsupervised. Children were also at risk of injury when pressing down hard on the pieces, as the gears could slip and cause scratches. Due to these concerns, it was banned. Choking hazard dolls. Dolls in the 70s often came with small parts, like removable eyes, clothing accessories, or miniature toys, which were designed to make the dolls more realistic and fun. However, these tiny pieces posed serious risks, especially for younger children, who might accidentally swallow them. For instance, removable doll eyes could come loose and were easily ingested, creating a choking hazard. Accessories like shoes, jewelry, and hats also presented risks, as kids would sometimes put them in their mouths without realizing the danger. Cases of choking and accidental swallowing raised concerns, leading to stricter toy regulations that required dolls and their parts to be larger and more securely attached. So the choking hazard dolls were banned, and toy manufacturers started making dolls with fewer removable pieces or larger accessories to prevent accidents. This change helped reduce the risk of choking, making dolls safer for younger children to play with. Hoverboards, early models. The early versions of hoverboards were exciting but quite risky. Unlike modern hoverboards, these early models were essentially self-balancing boards with wheels, requiring good balance and skill to use. Kids who were just learning often found it hard to control the boards, leading to frequent falls. Falls from hoverboards could be dangerous, sometimes resulting in broken bones, sprains, or head injuries if riders weren't wearing helmets. The hoverboards also had limited stability, which made it easy for riders to lose their balance when trying to turn or stop. Safety gear wasn't as common at the time, so many kids rode unprotected. As a result, injuries became widespread, and the toy was deemed unsafe. Manufacturers have since redesigned hoverboards with added safety features, but the early models remain a cautionary tale of a thrilling but risky trend. Baby walkers. Baby walkers at that time were designed to help infants take their first steps with added support. These devices had wheels and a seat, allowing babies to move around independently. However, many homes at the time were not designed for walkers, with stairs and uneven surfaces posing hidden dangers. Babies could easily roll towards stairs, leading to falls that sometimes caused severe injuries like broken bones or head trauma. Baby walkers also made it easier for infants to reach unsafe objects or areas like sharp table corners or hot surfaces, which increased the risk of accidents. Due to the high number of injuries reported, Safety experts advised against using baby walkers without supervision. Joy buzzer. The joy buzzer was a prank toy that delivered a small electric shock when a person shook hands with the user wearing it. It worked by using a simple mechanism that created a quick vibration, giving the illusion of a shock. Although marketed as harmless fun, some buzzers produced unexpectedly strong shocks, which could startle or even hurt the person receiving it. The surprise of the buzz, combined with the unexpected jolt, occasionally caused people to flinch or pull back abruptly, leading to minor injuries. In some cases, the shock could be uncomfortable, especially for kids or individuals with sensitive hands. Over time, concerns about the potential for discomfort or injury made the joy buzzer a controversial toy. Pogo sticks. Pogo sticks were a popular toy in the 1970s, allowing kids to bounce high into the air while holding onto handles and balancing on a single footrest. However, early pogo sticks lacked safety features, making them tricky and risky to use. Kids often lose their balance while bouncing, leading to falls that sometimes result in sprained wrists, bruises, or broken bones. With little to support them, young users had to rely entirely on their balance, which could be difficult for beginners. Safety gear like helmets or pads was not commonly used at the time, so kids faced a higher risk of injury. Additionally, the metal construction of the pogo sticks made them quite heavy, adding to the impact of a child falling while using them. That's a wrap for our video. We hope you enjoyed this look back at some of the most dangerous toys from the 1950s to 1970s. It's amazing how much toy safety has changed over the years to keep kids protected. If you found this video interesting, make sure to give it a thumbs up, share your memories or thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more throwback content and fun facts. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.